All right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Tyson Fury is ranked number 1 by Ring Magazine in their list of heavyweights. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. So ridiculous that I have to say something about it. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. All right, Tyson Fury, ranked number 1 by Ring Magazine, ahead of Deontay Wilder, who's at number 2, ahead of Andy Ruiz, who's at number 3, Anthony Joshua, that's at number 4. Tyson Fury has not beat a highly ranked opponent since 2015. But yet, the Ring Magazine decides to put him at the number 1 position in the heavyweight division. Again, a man who has not beaten a highly ranked opponent since 2015 is somehow the number 1 ranked guy in the heavyweight division because he got a draw against the longest reigning heavyweight champion, who's defended his title as many times as anybody in the sport of boxing. The longest reigning champion in the sport of boxing. He had a draw. And that is the reason why he's the number 1 ranked heavyweight. All these people that talk about don't be biased, oh, bias. Look at the facts, look at the facts. I'm asking you to look at the facts. This is ridiculous. Not only is it ridiculous because of the fact that Tyson Fury, again, the last major win or considerable highly ranked opponent that he's beaten was Vladimir Klitschko in 2015. Also, look at the other people that are ranked in the top positions by Ring Magazine. And you'll notice something. Tyson Fury is the only one from 105 pounds all the way to heavyweight that is the number 1 ranked person without holding any belts. He's the only one from 105 to 108, all the way up to cruiserweight. Every other boxer who's ranked is either the champion or the number 1 guy. If they have that belt vacant, they are all, without exception, a holder of a major championship belt. And I will walk through that for that with you. At 105 pounds, you have knockout CP Freshmark. You know that in his name, right? Who is the WBA champion from Thailand. For some reason, because the number 2 guy is actually Minalothian, who's 53-0. But regardless, he's the WBA champion at 105 pounds. The 108-pound number 1 champion, the Ring Magazine champion at 108 pounds is Koyaguchi. I'm sure I'm killing that name. Who's the WBA champion? At 112, you have Tanaka, who's the number 1 ranked challenger, and he is the WBO champion. At 115 pounds, you have Juan Francisco Estrada, who is the WBC champion. At the champion at 118 pounds is Monster Inoue, who is the IBF champion. At 122 pounds, you've got Danny Roman, who is the IBF and the WBA champion. At At 126 pounds, you have Leo Santa Cruz, who's ranked number 1 because the 126-pound title is vacant. He's the WBA champion. At 130 pounds, you have Miguel Berchelt, who is the WBC champion. At lightweight, at 135 pounds, you have Vasily Lomachenko, because Orlando took his O's. You have Vasily Lomachenko, otherwise known as Noochenko. You gotta watch the live streams to get that joke. Here's the WBA, the WBO, and the and the IBF champion. Oh, excuse me, he's the WBA and the WBO champion. WBA and WBO champion. That's the champion at lightweight. Highest ranked guy. At 140, Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is the WBA champion at 140. He's ranked number 1 at 140. At 147, you have the IBF. The number 1 ranked guy for 147 is Errol Spence Jr., who's the IBF champion. At 154, you have the IBF and the WBA 154-pound champion, J-Rock, Julian Williams. And again, that particular belt by Ring Magazine is vacant. Canelo Alvarez at 160, who is the IBF, WBA, and WBC champion at 160 pounds, is the top-ranked guy at middleweight by Ring. Move up to the next one, Callum Smith. Callum Smith is the WBA champion. Wojciech at 175 pounds is the WBC champion, who beat, and I'm really glad to know and hear that Adonis Stevenson is, he's talking, he's looked like he's recovering well from that very vicious knockout. Shout out to your family, man. I'm glad to see you're doing well. Alexander Wojciech is the WBC champion. The cruiserweight champion is, I think Wojciech is the number 1 ranked guy. He's not the champion by rank. That's Wojciech. Then you have Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight. Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight is the IBF, the WBC, and the WBO champion. He must have lost his WBA champion. Now the anomaly is Tyson Fury, who somehow is ranked the number 1 guy, despite the fact that he has not beaten a top-ranked opponent in the last 4 years, and he doesn't hold a major championship belt. And he sits higher than the 2 guys that hold all the belts. What am I missing here? This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I happen to know that the reason why it probably went that way is because after that draw, after the moral victory, people wanted to hand Tyson Fury for a fight he did not win and got dropped and dang near put comatose. They decided to put him at the number 2 position underneath Anthony Joshua. Now Anthony Joshua loses. You don't even respect Andy Ruiz enough to put Andy Ruiz where Anthony Joshua was. You somehow put Tyson Fury and make a complete anomaly. He's the only person in all of their rankings that is ranked number 1 with that poor a record over the last 4 years with no major championship belts. Tyson Fury. Now, what would be the argument? Well, he really beat Deontay Wilder. He really beat Deontay Wilder. No, he did not. That was a draw. He failed to win that title. Besides that, he has nothing else to show for it since 2015. It is 2019. Sefi Safiri, what is of the other guys names that he beat, who I guess I could pull up the name and figure out who these guys are. But the 2 guys that he fought before he got a draw against Deontay Wilder would hardly catapult him to the top 5 heavyweights in the world on any reasonable person's standard based on what they did, based on what he's done. By the way, Andy Ruiz, needs one victory to have the unified championship longer than Tyson Fury did. Tyson Fury had the belts that Andy Ruiz had for the same amount of time that Andy Ruiz has them. He never defended it. Never defended it. Not once. But you're going to rank him over a guy that has 9 heavyweight championship title defenses, was a heavyweight champion before Tyson Fury ever won a championship, drew with Tyson Fury, which means he successfully defended his title against him, beat somebody else that's in the top 10, or the current top 10, in Luis Ortiz, defended against a former champion in Bermane Stervern, and a former title challenger in Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale is a better win than Safiri Safari and Paul Manetti or whoever the heck those other 2 guys' names were, and the guy that he's coming up to fight next, which is Tom Schwartz. See, this is what happens. This is definitely what happens when you give people moral victories. Things like this, anomalies like this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, it is what it is. And man, good job. Hey, good job, Ring Magazine. Good job, Ring Magazine. Make your number one guy somebody that has not beaten a ranked opponent in 4 years. The only guy in that position that is in his same position that does not have a major championship belt. And for the foreseeable future, will not be fighting for one. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.